Hi YouTube, and welcome back to the third episode of the Cat 980 build. So in the last episode we finished the rear chassis, or we installed the hydraulic components and the electronics. And in this episode I was thinking we should assemble the front chassis and finish this build. Or at least the main parts of the build. We will add lights and maybe sound and stuff later on. Right now I just want to focus on getting the hydraulics and the electronics, like the motors and stuff, running, so we can test this loader and see if it actually works the way I want it to. So we are going to put the rear chassis aside and make room for the front chassis. So here we have the front chassis, and what I want to begin doing is install the cylinders for the bucket. They will sit up here, and the hydraulic tubes, they will go down into this hole, and then we should be able to join them up with the rear chassis tubes over here, and also do the same with the main lifting cylinders down here. We should connect them up, and yeah. So here we have the cylinders. I've just finished painting them and they are looking great. But as I said, we are going to begin with the bucket cylinders, which are the smaller ones. So I'm going to begin pre-assembling some hydraulic lines on this before I install it on the chassis. So we will do that on both of these. I'll do it on one of them and do the other one off camera. So I'll start by creating a 180-degree bracket for the hydraulic tubes. So the cylinder in the middle here is just a spacer that I bought off AliExpress. It has M5 threads inside of it, and it's 10 millimeters long. I'm going to be using this to create a 180-degree bracket. You need this line to go back here, and the angle on the tubes that I bought it just won't work. So I'm running these forward, around this, and back. So these two will go parallel backwards. It will be sitting like this. Okay, so this is kind of what I had in mind. We got one tube coming from here, and it goes into the cylinder here, and the other tube comes into the fitting here and goes around and comes back to this fitting. Now I'll put this one on the front chassis and show you why I did this. So here you can see the angle that I talked about. There's no way for me to get this one to curl around and back in here without being all over the place. So that's why I made this fitting. It didn't turn out as nice as I thought, but if I cut the line on this side, I can bring it back a little. I'll see if I do that or just run it like it is. Now I'll do the other one off camera and we can begin mounting these up. Alright, so I got both cylinders assembled, and one thing to notice is that these are mirrored. So the lines, they come in the middle. This is now upside down obviously, but they come in the middle to join into the hole here. Now I'm going to mark out which line is for what. Because we are now joining these two cylinders together, we need the correct lines to go together as well. So I'll create a mark on the lines that comes from this fitting that I made here, and that way I know what will join what. Alright, so I created the marks, and these two will be joined together and the other two will be joined together. So this is an access hole, a belly plate that you can take off and actually have a look inside, and it will help you when you gotta guide the hydraulic lines. Alright, so I got the cylinders installed, and this is how they work. You can see that the lines go up and down like this. Alright, so I'm going to assemble these now and put them in. I think these will be straightforward. You just put hydraulic lines and then stuff them in the holes on the sides down here. All the cylinders are now in, and I can begin assembling the front chassis onto the rear chassis and fix the connections for the hydraulic lines. Yeah, but first, before I do that, I have to attach the steering mounts that will sit here on the sides. So here you can see the front and rear chassis connected together, and I'm going to flip it upside down now so that I can access all the hydraulics underneath here. Okay, I can tell that this is going to be extremely fun. So I'll just go ahead and assemble this. There's no point in trying to explain this. I can tell you though that I'm using 4 of these. So I'm over halfway done, and this is how I connect them. The one in the middle comes from the valve block, goes into here, and this it distributes pressure to one of the channels on the cylinders. So there's 4 total coming from here, but there's 8 total lines from the cylinders. So every single one coming from the valve block divides into 2 in the front here. And what I do after I connected them like this, I just shove them down inside the chassis here. You can see inside here, they're laying inside here somewhere. It doesn't really matter because nobody will see what's going on inside here anyway. So I'll go ahead and stuff this in and connect the last hydraulic lines now, and we can continue building this. Alright, so I got everything connected up and stuffed down inside here. So now we can put on the lid again, and hopefully we will never see those lines ever again. Alright, so I got the drive motors for the front axle mounted up, and now I'm eager to test this and see if it works. So I'm going to fill some oil in here, and we're going to begin installing the transmitter and the receiver. Alright, so first we are going to bind the receiver onto the transmitter. And you get this bind plug, you plug it into BVCC on top of the receiver, and then you plug in the ESC with the red wire. In my case, that's the hydraulic pump, and I'm running my pump on channel 5 right there. And then we turn on the transmitter. first things first, I'm going to set this up as my own preference. Let's see here. I'm going to show you. First, we're going to get rid of this screen lock thing because it's annoying. So scroll down to screen lock, unlock, go back. Okay. Something's wrong with the display. Nope. This controller might be busted. So the screen was in fact defective on the other one. Luckily for me, I have another one which is brand new. Hopefully the screen on this one is working. So let's have a look at this one, see if it's okay. Okay, so this one is working. It's only the top left on the other one that's not working, so this one seems to be working fine. Okay, so back to where we were. We go to System, and we are going to take off Screen Lock, Unlock, go back. And now I'm going to just take off the sounds because I don't like the sounds. There we go. Then we scroll back to RX bind and press that. And now I'm going to plug in the battery. And it will say bind OK on the screen. There we go. We are bound up. You can see the light on the receiver is not flashing. So I just removed the bind plug. You don't have to remove the battery, just take out the bind plug. And now the receiver is connected to the transmitter. We can just disconnect the battery now. We need to set up something, and that's called sticks mode. Here we go, sticks mode. And I'm going to use M3, which will put the channel 1 and 2 on the left stick, this one, and 3 and 4 in this one. Go back, and then before I begin, I'm going to set up a low and high speed. By that I mean I can adjust the speed on the tires with a flick of a switch. So we go down to, on function menu, we go to rate exponential switch. You select the switch on top here, it says SWD here, and then go back, and then we go to the main menu. We flick our finger from the left to right. We get this menu which displays all the channels. So I'm going to give full throttle now and see which one we get. Channel 2. So now I know that the drive motors will be on channel 2. So then we go back to rate and we choose channel 2. And this is, you can see that it says normal here, right? So when I flick the switch, we go to sport mode. You see? Now on normal mode, I'm going to adjust the rate down to maybe 60. So that means that I only get 60% power in the low gear. I switch to high gear, it jumps to 100. Go back, and now this is set up for 2-speed, and we have the pump on channel 5. So we need to go to aux channels. So here we are going to choose a 3-point switch. I'm going with the SWB. SWB. There. Put it in the middle. And now I'm going to check if my pump is working. Yes, it's working. Okay, so now I'm not going to run the pump on full speed. So we go to endpoints and we choose channel 5 and put it down to maybe 20% to begin with on both of these. Okay, so now the pump is ready and we can connect. We have the servos for the hydraulics here, and if you remember, the right stick, this one, is channel 3 and 4. So I'm going to connect these into channel 3 and 4. I don't know which one is which yet, but we will find out. It doesn't really matter at this point. So they are now in place, and we will connect the drive motors on channel 2. And then we have the steering motor on channel 1. Be careful of the pump. You don't want anything to touch it. Alright, so now we can test the functions. I'm just going to move the loader a bit. The first thing I'll do is check if all the wheels are turning the same way. So I press forward and it goes backward here, backward there, and I'm sure it goes backward on the other side as well. Yeah. Okay, so all of them is turning their same way, which is great. All I gotta do now is reverse the channel. Reverse channel 2, and now it goes forward. Perfect. And now I'm going to check the steering. I just have to move this. So I steer with this one. Perfect, it's working. Alright, so now all I gotta do is put some oil in the tank and we can test the hydraulics and see if they work. Alright guys, so I'm using hydraulic oil ISO 32 on my builds. Alright, so the oil won't sink down into the tank for some reason. I think it might be a vacuum. So I'm going to take off the bleeding. There we go. Right, so let's continue. Let's turn on some lights for you guys. Alright, so I was hoping I could see the level of oil on the side here. Yeah, there it goes. It's rising now. There you can see it now. Yeah, so let's keep filling it up. Alright, so it's pretty full now. I'm going to put on the lid again and tighten the oil return line, and then I'm going to run the pump for a bit and see what happens. So unfortunately I don't know which way is the correct way for this pump to spin. Oh, we've got pressure. And we've got movement on the cylinders. Yeah. So I think we need more oil now. Yeah, by the way, I had a leak on one of my homemade couplings over here, so I think I fixed it. I'm not sure. I just tightened it down. It was loose, so I forgot to tighten it all the way. Alright, so full tank number 2. It seems like we have 2 MPa pressure, 20 bars. Yep. And I'll go ahead and look for leaks again before I run it anymore. This is leaking a bit because I've been undoing it just to make the tank. And look at this. We've got a leak on the pump, which is great. So we have a huge leak on the pump housing. Have a look around here. So I have to take off the pump and try to fix that. Alright, so the pump is out. It's just 2 screws, so it's rather easy, but here you can see there's O-rings, and something tells me that there should be an O-ring on this side, and there's not. So, and this is where it started leaking, so I'm pretty sure I'm missing an O-ring and somebody didn't do their job. So I'm going to see if I have an O-ring that will fit here. Alright, so let's try this again. I'm pretty sure that the problem was the missing O-ring, but I'm not sure if the O-ring that I put in here is enough. So keep an eye on this area. It's not leaking yet. It's actually looking good so far. And we've got movement on the cylinders. I'll just show you that real quick. Alright, maybe we are okay. Let's go ahead and check if there's any leaks on the front here again. This is from the other time. It seems like it's now sealed. This is the one that was leaking. Yeah. Alright, well, this is looking promising. What's going on underneath? Nothing. Nothing yet. Alright, so I'm going to keep running the system and see. Maybe we need more oil. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, I'm going to add more oil. I think I'm missing oil right now. Alright, so I got everything working and it seems to be sealed. However, believe it or not, one of the servos is super hot and might have died because the main boom cylinder stopped working suddenly, and it's super hot. I can't even touch it. So I'm guessing they adjusted the servo too tight on the valve blocks, so it's very hard for the servo to open and close. I'll take it off now and have a look at it. Alright, so I took the valve block apart, and it turns out that this one, the valve itself, is jammed shut inside this hole. So this one should be spinning a little more freely. So what I'm going to try to do here is just open up this hole a little bit more. Hopefully this will spin more freely after that. If not, this is junk. And yeah, let's hope I can fix it, or else I'll have to look for something else. Alright, so I drilled the hole a bit more open. Not much though, but now I can actually spin it with my fingers, and I couldn't even do that earlier, and I had to knock it out of the hole. So alright, I'll just try to put this back in and see what happens. Alright, so it's spinning freely, and so far it's holding pressure, and it seems like maybe the servo survived. But keep in mind that I can't screw this all the way in, because it will jam the servo into the valve block and cause a jam. So maybe that was one of the problems too. I'll assemble the other servo and try to run this again and see what happens. Alright, so I've been running this system for some minutes now, and there's no leaks, and the servo is not hot anymore. So maybe I was lucky. It's looking really good, actually. And don't worry about them just popping up one at a time, because once you connect them to the lifting arms, they will cooperate. So let's have a look inside here. Yeah, I don't see any leaks in there. Let's check the pump again. So there's no leaks on the pump, no leaks on the tank. I don't see any leaks on the cylinders. Nope. Let's lift it up and see if it leaks under here. Nope. Alright, so it's actually looking good now. I was ticked off for a minute there, but it seems like maybe it will work out. So anyway, guys, I gotta go to bed now because it's 3:30 a.m. and yeah, it's getting late. I've been up all night trying to work out everything. I was hoping to finish this tonight, but I'll have to continue tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.